Good Monday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to tonight's top stories, let's take a look outside our weather window. And boy, a nice warm up today. I'm sure you all noticed that if you were outside this afternoon. Finally, some temperatures into the 40s. Wasn't a bad weekend. A little bit of rain Saturday, about 40 yesterday, but it was a nice one today. We did see a few clouds out there and just a little bit of a breeze, but a nice shot looking down from our cross camera up on Wenatchee Heights. And as we move along into Tuesday and Wednesday, there is a weak weather system that's moving through the southern part of Canada, and that will kick our winds up on Tuesday. That's tomorrow. And again on Wednesday, just drive with caution, especially on I-90 where you can see in those red areas right into Moses Lake could be some very strong winds. I'm thinking Wenatchee, our peak gust will be around 25 miles an hour. We'll talk much more about that in your complete north central Washington weather forecast coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the news stories we're following for you tonight. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office continues to look for two subjects wanted for felony eluding. Eastmont School District is being sued over injuries suffered by a child almost 10 years ago. And 4th District Congressman Dan Newhouse and other leaders are coming out against a federal lawsuit that could halt the use of fire-retardant drops in fighting U.S. wildfires. But first, our top story tonight, an 83-year-old motorist suffered a medical emergency this morning and crashed on Highway 97A in Entiat. The Washington State Patrol says Dwayne L. Hubbard of Manson was driving south in a 2000 Ford Ranger when he suffered the attack and left the roadway to the right side near milepost 217. His truck crashed through a field of boulders and came to rest on the roadside. Hubbard was taken to Central Washington Hospital for treatment. No one else was injured in that crash. East Wenatchee police are looking for two people that fled from a traffic stop on Saturday morning. According to East Wenatchee Police Chief Rick Johnson, at 5:27 a.m., police observed a black Cadillac parked in front of a location where previous drug arrests have been made on North Aurora Avenue in East Wenatchee. When the vehicle left, driver Echo Burnham and vehicle owner and passenger Robert Britt were pulled over for an expired registration. The officer believed there may be narcotics in the vehicle and called for a narcotics canine, which positively alerted its handler after an exterior search of that car. Police plan to detain the pair and obtain a search warrant for the vehicle, but the driver sped from the location. And under current Washington state pursuit law, the situation did not meet the criteria for officers to pursue them. The pair was driving a 2004 Cadillac CTS with the Washington license plate BTS 5052. The probable cause for the pair includes felony eluding a police vehicle, rendering criminal assistance, and obstructing law enforcement. If you see this car, call Rivercom at 509-663-9911. Well, the Eastmont School District is being sued over injuries suffered by a child almost 10 years ago, but the case might not be heard in a Douglas County courtroom. The child fell from playground equipment at Kenroy Elementary in 2014 and suffered a concussion and neck injury. Her family sued the district, saying the playground equipment was unsafe, but the case languished during the COVID-19 pandemic amid a backlog of criminal trials. The plaintiffs won an order from Judge Brian Huber to move the case to King County courts in order to speed up the process. The district says that's an inconvenience for its defense witnesses. The Court of Appeals is scheduled to decide the proper venue this spring. 4th District Congressman Dan Newhouse and other leaders are coming out against a federal lawsuit that could halt the use of fire-retardant drops in fighting U.S. wildfires. An environmental group says the heavy use of chemical retardants is illegal under the Clean Water Act. A government study found that between 2012 and 2019, the U.S. Forest Service dropped more than 760,000 gallons of the substance directly onto streams and other waterways where it could harm fish, frogs, and other aquatic species. Newhouse and other Republicans in the Congressional Western Caucus spoke on the House floor about the matter last week. Newhouse said, quote, "The value of a human life is far beyond that of some possible incidental disruption of aquatic ecosystems." Well, when we come back, last week, the House Energy and Commerce Subcommittee on Health took on the topic of fentanyl, the opioid that's contributing to fatal overdoses both locally and nationwide. Nominations for the 2023 Wenatchee Valley College Distinguished Alumni Award are now open. Central Washington's 12th District representatives held a tag team online town hall last week. The Grant County Sheriff's Office held a brief ceremony to unveil a plaque honoring Deputy Sheriff John Melvin last Thursday. And some sad news to report tonight. A retired Grant County Sheriff's Office canine has passed away. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life Evening News.
Boating in the Wenatchee Valley starts at Bob File Boats and Motors. Now you can fish like a pro without breaking the bank thanks to the ProMag aluminum fishing boat by Smokercraft. It features a great layout with a spacious bow casting platform, huge live wells, and in-floor storage to safely stow your gear. See the Smokercraft line of boats at Bob File Boats and Motors on Sunset Highway in East Wenatchee or online at bobfile.com.
Bob File Boats and Motors, we're dealing. Bob File's gonna make you smile.
Introducing Alpine Airman. Because every home needs a superhero to eliminate poor indoor air quality, send inefficient operating equipment packing, and cut high energy bills down to size. For heating or cooling and equipment replacement, turn to the experts and the superheroes at Carrier and Alpine Air. We offer the best deals on high-efficiency Carrier products, along with friendly, knowledgeable service and incredible savings to fit your budget.
Welcome back. In another news, last week, the House Energy and Commerce Subcommittee on Health took on the topic of fentanyl. That's the opioid that's contributing to fatal overdoses both locally and nationwide. 8th District Congresswoman Kim Schreier had questions for the panel of experts, including a chief of the Drug Enforcement Administration, about how fentanyl gets sold to young users through social media commerce.
We're laser focused on the cartels that are pushing this drug into our country. And we know that those drug cartels and their entire drug trafficking organizations are using social media platforms to try to reach hundreds of millions of potentially new customers, because that's truly where Americans are spending time, is on those social media sites, particularly young people.
What is your interaction with social media sites on this? Do you get cooperation, and what do you need from Congress to get those tools?
Thank you, Congresswoman. We do interact with the social media companies. We do so on a regular basis, specific to each investigation that we're conducting. But we know that these social media companies can and must do more. They control all of the algorithms. They know how content is being pushed to all of their hundreds of millions of users. They control all of the data. And unless we can get a look inside there, as DEA or as you said, for Congress to be able to do something, we can't make those type of recommendations. So there needs to be more transparency.
Nominations for the 2023 Wenatchee Valley College Distinguished Alumni Award are now open. The award recognizes former Knights who have distinguished themselves in their chosen professional field, made significant contributions to their community on a local, state, national, or international level, and demonstrated integrity in their personal life and gained respect of their peers. Nominees must have attended Wenatchee Valley College for at least a year, and groups can be considered for the award, but all members need to be alumni. Self-nominations are also welcome. You can submit your nomination on the Wenatchee Valley College website at wvc.edu/awards. Well, Central Washington's 12th District representatives held a tag team online town hall last week. Mike Steele and Keith Gaynor took constituent questions in the hour-long Zoom session on everything from firearms control to teacher pensions. They say the 12th District looks different after redistricting added several Western Washington towns this year, but their mission to represent everyone remains the same.
It's really, important for us to understand exactly the new issues, and yet also what are those things that are most common between us, because some of these issues really, they don't have a cascade divide at all. We're very much united on solving the same types of issues.
Well, and I would also reiterate, just as the ranking members on the committees on which we serve, we've always had a statewide focus on how we conduct our legislation, because local governments have had, as the ranking member of local government, Representative Gaynor has to think globally across the state. As the ranking member of the capital budget, we have to think globally.
The Grant County Sheriff's Office held a brief ceremony to unveil a plaque honoring Deputy Sheriff John Melvin last Thursday. Melvin, who passed away in December of 2020 due to complications from COVID-19, served 36 years in law enforcement. The majority of his career was spent as a deputy for the Grant County Sheriff's Office. The brass plaque was added to the fallen officer's memorial inside the Law and Justice Center in Ephrata. The unveiling was attended by members of Melvin's family and the Sheriff's Office. Well, some sad news to report tonight. A retired Grant County Sheriff's Office canine has passed away. Grizzly was one of the first canines to work with the Sheriff's Office after it restarted its canine program in 2016. Grizzly served until 2019 alongside Corporal David De La Rosa, who captioned a series of photos to the Grant County Sheriff's Office Facebook to commemorate the work they did together. De La Rosa wrote, "Over the years, we found a lot of bad guys, located missing persons, found lots of evidence, and conducted many demonstrations." He noted that once Grizzly retired, he was known to help himself to cat food and to many pairs of shoes. You're watching the NCW Life Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCW Life Evening News. Please stay with us.
The Clearwater Saloon and Casino has the best Vegas-style games in East Wenatchee. Come enjoy yourself and discover the nightly action. Win big and meet new friends at the Clearwater Saloon and Casino.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the diagnostic doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
Welcome back to the NCW Life Evening News. The Royal Court for the 2023 Apple Blossom Festival will be selected this weekend at Numerica Performing Arts Center. All this week, we'll be bringing you our interviews with the top 10 candidates ahead of that coronation scheduled for 7 p.m. Saturday. In tonight's feature story, Eric Granstrom introduces us to our first two royalty candidates, Natalie Pearson and Sophia Kinninger.
I've played softball since I was probably about 4 years old, which, funny story, I actually played for an all-boys t-ball team the first time because my parents couldn't find any girls t-ball or whatever. And so yeah, that's how I started with softball, and of course being around a bunch of little boys all the time, I got frustrated and things of that sort. But I stuck with it. Now I'm thankfully on a team with other girls, so that's good.
And it's not just your high school team, it's a travel team too,
Yes.
which probably keeps you pretty busy, doesn't it?
Yeah, very busy, yeah. So for our high school team, we have practice every day during the week after school. And during the winter time, we had to use an indoor facility, and practices were, I think, 4 hours long when we couldn't practice outside because we had to go from the small gym to the hitting facility, and it was about 2 hours at each. And then when we did get to practice outside, it went to normal practice time. And then for my NCW travel team, very busy summers. I mean, every weekend traveling somewhere for a tournament.
I wanted to know if learning lines for theater or for anything you've done on the stage has helped you with schoolwork.
Ooh, I think it has, yeah. Like learning lines and practicing for a show definitely helps with like studying for a test. You know, if you're trying to memorize terms, it's kind of the same deal. Yeah.
Do you have a trick for being able to do that both on stage and for schoolwork?
Well,
Did anybody give you some nice little nugget along the way that, oh, here's how to help you? Because it's not just your lines, you have to know everybody else's lines.
I know, you have to know your cue lines, you have to know when you're going on. Yeah, I think lots of practice and going over them in your head and knowing, it's always good to know your first part. So your first word, the first word of your cue line, the first word of your line is always good to know.
Do you think teenagers spend too much time on their phones?
Yes, yeah, I mean, I am one of them for sure. I think all of us, we just kind of get sucked into that, you know, social media and stuff, and having something like a disposable camera really takes away from that because you're valuing those pictures more. You know, you're valuing that moment where you just get one shot, you know?
Are we losing face-to-face communication with the phones?
I think we are. I mean, there's definitely times where I feel I see groups of kids and they're just all on their phones, you know, when really you could be having a conversation, you know, just like we are now. And there's so much more you learn through having a face-to-face conversation than over text.
Let's take a look now at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope your Monday was a good one, and boy, it was a nice one out there today. 43, our unofficial high temperature. That's 4 degrees above where we should be for this time of year at 39. 56, our record high set back in 1967. Boy, look where we started this morning. 34, our overnight low. 8 degrees above 26 is where we should be for this time of year. And our record, big fat 0 set back in 2014. Sunrise 7:20 and sunset just a few minutes ago at 5:10. Let's take a look now as what we can expect as we get you into our Tuesday forecast. This mild weather will continue, but there is a weak system moving through. It's going to kick the winds up a little bit, maybe just cool us off a degree or two. Moses Lake 45, 44 in Ephrata tomorrow, 43 for Quincy and 41 in Wenatchee, and then upper 30s from Entiat into Chelan and all the way up into Okanagan County for you folks in Omak. Taking a look at tonight now, we will see mostly cloudy skies, big westerly flow moving into Washington State. There's our weather maker as it gets set to move in tomorrow. We're going to stay mild tonight. Most of the showers should stay over in western Washington. Lows in the low 30s tonight. Getting you into Tuesday, cloudy skies, and we'll see those windy conditions at times. And yeah, kind of a messy day. A good chance for some rain showers off and on throughout the day with highs in the low 40s. For Wednesday then, here's the edge of another area of low pressure, the one that brought us the wind. It will move all the way across southern Canada into the Midwest, and that'll make for some sunny skies for us on Wednesday. Just a little breezy for Wednesday with highs again into the lower 40s. Getting you to Thursday, mostly cloudy, just a little bit cooler. We are seeing a northerly flow of air on Thursday, so that will cool us back into the mid 30s, but this area of low pressure really won't do anything, mainly because of high pressure right to its south, and that will push it to the north, and that'll keep us fairly dry as we head into Friday. Mostly cloudy and warmer. We'll see highs in the upper 30s for Friday, and then I'm telling you folks, this weekend, especially Saturday, It's going to be a beautiful one. Partly cloudy skies, warmer temperatures for Saturday. We are talking highs into the mid-40s to kick off our weekend. And then for Sunday, not quite as nice as Saturday. Still not bad, though. We'll see cloudy skies. This system will then bring in some late afternoon, early evening showers on Sunday. Boy, not a great chance for that, but we do have it in the forecast. Fairly mild with highs again on Sunday into those lower 40s. Let's take a look now at your 7-day forecast brought to you by Apple Valley Honda. And expect another mild overnight low tonight as we check out that 7-day forecast. 33 overnight tonight, 41s for both Tuesday and Wednesday. Windy tomorrow, breezy Wednesday. Showers are likely on Tuesday. And boy, we are just going to stay dry then as we make our way into Thursday. A little bit cooler. 38 for our high on Friday as we get into the end of the weekend or end of the week rather. And then for this weekend, beautiful Saturday 44, maybe a shower on Sunday with a high of 43. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCW Life Evening News continues right after this.
Tiki Hawaiian Barbecue, family owned and operated on North Wenatchee Avenue, right next to Hooked on Toys. Tiki Hawaiian Barbecue uses only fresh ingredients, handcrafted with love, including authentic Hawaiian barbecue and Japanese-style ramen noodle soups. And the bubble teas will keep you coming back for more. Enjoy the culinary tour of the Pacific Rim with Hawaiian barbecue lunches and combo plate classics, as well as ramen noodle soups. Tiki Hawaiian Barbecue. Enjoy their comfort food like you're one of the family. And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Monday to you. The Washington women saved the best for last at our sports weekend around the Northwest. The unranked Huskies knocked off second-ranked Stanford 72-67 in Seattle to wrap up a 2-0 weekend for the University of Washington.
The Huskies have not beat Stanford since 2016. Ledeen turns the corner, flips it up with the left hand, and the Huskies have the lead. And that one is just about going to do it. Jones scores it, and the Huskies need to touch it. Right. Or not. Daniels will take it, and the Huskies have done it. The upset here on their home floor. They knock off the number 2 team in the nation.
We try to be process focused. I mean, Stanford is a great team, incredibly well coached, really talented, so much respect for them. But I also have so much respect for these young women and excited for what we're building. And so, you know, when we can come out and play our best and be focused on, like she said, 0-0, the process, the entire game, it's going to be fun to see who we can become.
Washington dumped Cal on Friday 70-54, while the Cardinal dispatched WSU 71-38. Saturday, it was Portland State topping Eastern Washington in women's play 80-71, while 17th-ranked Gonzaga beat San Francisco 78-56. Cougar women bounced back yesterday for a 10-point win over Cal. Eastern Washington men were the only Northwest team to post a victory on Saturday, downing Portland State 98-88. UCLA beat Washington by 24, and the Trojans topped the Huskies 80-74. St. Mary's came up big in overtime to beat Gonzaga 78-70. You have to go a long way back to find 2 WCC defeats in a span of a week for the Bulldogs. Well, the winter sports season state championships got underway last weekend in Battleground and Tukwila. Congratulations to the Moses Lake Cheer Squad on a state championship in the 3A, 4A game day co-ed category. Meanwhile, in girls bowling, Wenatchee came home with a 4th place trophy at the state 4A championships, finishing behind Curtis, Skyview, and Kamiakin. Ava Porter, top individual placer, tying for 3rd. Sunnyside, as it did during the regular season, continued to dominate at the District 6 4A wrestling meet over the weekend at Davis High School. Grizzlies had 8 champions and advanced 22 wrestlers to the regionals and amassing an incredible 505.5 points to take the team title. Wenatchee was 2nd. Evan Burdan and Jack Flugie took individual championships. Panthers will have 11 wrestlers advancing to regionals. Moses Lake's Dayton Regan took the district title at 152 pounds. Mavericks head to regionals with 9 wrestlers. Eastmont did not have a wrestler top the podium at districts, but will have 7 heading into the regionals. That's at Hanford High School this weekend. Moses Lake had 4 ladies emerge from the Big 9 sub-regional tournament as champions. The Mavericks' Ashley Diana Naranjo won at 115 pounds. Reese Prescott topped the podium at 120. Bianca Johnson first at 130. Caitlin Rodriguez won at 170 pounds. Moses Lake just behind Sunnyside in the team championships. Othello, the runaway champion at the CWAC District 2A tournament in Ellensburg. Bulldogs took second with Grandview third. Freitas Jose Palayo topped the podium at 285 pounds. Omak followed up a league title in the Caribou Trail League by winning the District 6 1A championship over the weekend. Pioneers finished in front of Cashmere and Quincy in the standings. And no surprise that Tonasket once again took the team title of the District 6 1B2B tournament at Lake Roosevelt. Okanagan was second, followed by the Raiders third. Well, checking the weekend that was in high school basketball, we'll start on the girls' courts from Friday as Moses Lake edged West Valley 52-50. Sealis stopped at Freight at 41-38. Waterville Mansfield finished the regular season with a 50-43 win over Pateras. Moses Lake Christian topped Any at 51-26. Soap Lake double up Riverside Christian 44-22. First round of the District 6 2B tournament, Lake Roosevelt beat up Liberty Bell 64-12 to advance to the winners bracket. Tonasket also advanced with a 77-25 win over Bridgeport. The only girls game Saturday saw Eisenhower get 20 points for Mary Jones and Downing Eastmont 68-54. The Wildcats had 3 players in double figures, led by the 16 points of Elizabeth Hines. On the boys' courts Friday, West Valley down Moses Lake 69-43. Sela topped at Freitas 66-48. Waterville Mansfield edged Pateras 45-43. Moses Lake Christian eked out a 62-60 win over Entiat. Turning to Saturday, Eamon Monaghan had 28 points, while Reese Gallagher chipped in 22. Eastmont won its third straight, downing Eisenhower 96-64. Grant and I had the call here on the NCWLIFE channel.
Here's a shot left wide open is Corbray for 3, and it's good. He's got 9 points.
And he got most of that towards the end of the second quarter. He's just got to shoot more.
Absolutely. Shindelli, Gallagher's left open. He puts it up for 3. Good. But who's got it? Still loose. Stevens comes up with it. Goes off the head of Mitchell and into the hands of Monaghan. Oh, how about that shot?
That snapped a string of 8 misses in a row for Eisenhower.
And Monaghan gets the shot and draws the foul. Our final from Eastmont High School tonight. The Wildcats come away with the big win, 96-64.
A big win over Sunnyside last weekend. The momentum is yours now. Boy, you sure showed it again tonight. Do you think you guys are playing your best basketball right now?
Yeah, I think we're really hitting our stride and I think we're improving each game right now.
And you got a lot of help from Adrian Ruffins tonight. 10 points, 10 rebounds. You guys had a lot of size on this team, and you probably knew that going in.
Yeah, we knew rebounding was going to be important. That helps us get the ball up the court, so that was the key to the game.
Also on the scoreboard Saturday, Moses Lake fell at Ferris 84-59 in the District 6 2B tournament. Liberty Bell beat Tonasket 68-55, while Okanagan topped Manson 59-35. The Wenatchee Wilds started off a new month of play in the BCHL with a couple of wins over the weekend. Wenatchee fell behind early in Merritt Friday, but got 2 goals apiece from Luke Weiland and Jason Stefanik coming out on top over the Centennials 4-3. We won't have time to run the highlights here, but you can see those on our website at NCWLife.com. Wenatchee traveled to Salmon Arms Saturday to take on the Silverbacks. Wild fell behind once again early, but came back to take the lead, only to see it slip away again. Finally, Christian Kim and Jason Stefanik came through down the stretch. Kim with a goal with 20 seconds left in regulation, and then Stefanik got the game winner in overtime. Wenatchee wins it by a final of 4-3. The Wild are back home this Friday and Saturday. They'll face Nanaimo Friday at 7:05, Coquitlam Saturday at 6:05 at the Town Toyota Center. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Grandstrom. Grant, back to you.
Eric, thank you very much. And that will do it for our newscast tonight. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us, and have a great night.
Join NCW Life Channel for live coverage of the Apple Blossom Royalty Selection Pageant presented by Cashmere Valley Bank on Saturday, February 11th. The countdown to coronation at 6 and the pageant at 7 o'clock. Coverage is brought to you by Coldwell Banker Cascade, Confluence Health, Harvest Valley Pest Control, and the Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center. Join us for the Apple Blossom Festival Royalty Selection Pageant on the NCW Life Channel.